She walked into the boardroom confident, ready to sign a contract that could change everything. But as she scanned the fine print, something didn't sit right. "Excuse me, but this contract is a forgery," she said calmly, pointing to the suspicious clause. The room fell silent. The smiles vanished. What happened next would expose deep betrayal, reveal hidden agendas, and change the course of her career forever. Tara Mitchell was no stranger to the cutthroat world of business. At just 29, she had already made a name for herself as a sharp, detail-oriented contract manager at a thriving tech startup. Raised in a family of entrepreneurs, Tara understood that every deal was more than just numbers on paper. It was about trust, timing, and vision. Today was especially important. After months of negotiations, Tara was on the verge of closing the biggest deal in her career, a multi-million-dollar partnership with a major international investor. This deal wasn't just about expanding the company's reach. It could propel her into the executive leadership team, a role she had dreamed about since college. As Tara walked into the sleek conference room, she felt a familiar mix of excitement and pressure. The room was buzzing with energy. Executives from both sides gathered around the polished table, smiling and exchanging polite greetings. The deal was expected to be signed today, and Tara's role was pivotal. She was responsible for reviewing the final contract to ensure everything was airtight. Tara's reputation as a meticulous professional preceded her. Colleagues trusted her judgment, and investors appreciated her ability to spot even the smallest inconsistency. But today, the stakes were higher than ever. The slightest mistake could cost millions, and potentially derail her career. With a calm but focused mind, Tara took her seat, laptop and printed documents ready. The legal team was about to present the final contract draft. Everyone expected the meeting to be a formality, a last step before sealing the partnership. But Tara knew better than to assume anything in business. She was determined to review every clause carefully, because sometimes the devil truly was in the details. As the legal team distributed copies of the contract, Tara's eyes immediately locked onto the dense pages filled with legal jargon. She knew these documents often hid crucial details in small print, where most people skimmed over without a second thought. While others exchanged polite smiles and nods, Tara's mind was already racing. She read every word carefully, her experience teaching her to pay close attention to phrasing, clauses, and any wording that seemed out of place. Contracts could be complex, yes, but they were also a battlefield where the careful wording could protect or betray. At first glance, everything looked standard. The terms aligned with what had been agreed upon in earlier meetings. But then, her eyes caught a phrase that didn't sit right, a clause granting unusually broad rights to the investor, far beyond what had been discussed. It was buried deep in the middle of the document, almost as if designed to be overlooked. Her fingers hovered over the page as she scanned for more. Then, her heart skipped a beat when she noticed the signature line. The signature was familiar but different, a subtle variation that only someone trained in handwriting might catch. Could it be a forgery? Tara's brow furrowed. Why would someone add a forged signature? And why grant such sweeping rights without discussion? Her curiosity quickly turned into concern. She knew that if this clause was accepted as is, her company could lose control over critical assets, and the deal would be dangerously one-sided. Millions were at stake, and reputations too. She glanced around the room. Everyone else was still chatting, unaware of the time bomb hidden within these pages. Tara's instinct kicked in. She had to slow things down. This was no time for a rushed signature or blind trust. The deal depended on clarity and fairness, not deception. Taking a deep breath, she made a mental note to raise her concerns. This contract needed more than a quick review. It needed to be examined, questioned, and, if necessary, challenged. Because in business, trust was precious, but the truth was everything. Tara's eyes returned to the troubling clause, reading it once more to make sure she wasn't mistaken. The language was vague yet dangerously broad, granting the investor control over proprietary technology and future product lines. This was a deal-breaker, something no one on her side had ever agreed to. But it wasn't just the wording that unsettled her. Her gaze shifted again to the signature at the bottom of the contract. Something was off. The signature, supposedly from her company's CEO, didn't match the usual confident stroke she was used to seeing on official documents. Her heart raced. Could someone have forged the CEO's signature? Tara zoomed in on the digital copy, comparing it side by side with previous signed contracts. The differences were subtle but undeniable. The loops were tighter, the slant slightly different, and the pressure inconsistent. This wasn't a simple mistake. It was deliberate. She understood the gravity of what she had found. A forged signature was not just unethical, it was illegal. And combined with the suspicious clause, it pointed to a betrayal from someone within or a sophisticated attempt by the other party to gain unfair leverage. Tara's mind flashed to the months of hard work she and her team had poured into this deal. Could everything collapse because of this one hidden sabotage? Her fingers trembled slightly, but she forced herself to stay calm. This was the moment to be strong, to stand firm for her company and for the truth. She closed the laptop gently and looked up at the room. The others were still discussing logistics, oblivious to the ticking time bomb in their midst. Tara knew she couldn't stay silent any longer. This wasn't just about a contract. It was about trust, integrity, and protecting everything they had worked so hard to build. Taking a steadying breath, she prepared to speak up. With the contract in front of her and the evidence clear in her mind, Tara took a deep breath. The hum of polite chatter filled the room as the executives and legal team prepared for the final signature. She knew that speaking up now could change everything, but she couldn't let the deal go forward with deception hidden inside. "Excuse me," Tara's voice cut through the conversation, steady and firm. All eyes turned toward her. "I've reviewed the contract carefully," she began, holding up the printed document. "And I found a serious issue that we need to address before moving forward." Curious glances quickly shifted to concerned ones as she continued. "There's a clause here granting the investor control over assets far beyond what we agreed upon. More importantly, the signature on this document isn't authentic. I have compared it to previous contracts, and it appears to be forged." A stunned silence blanketed the room. People exchanged shocked looks, some whispering to one another. The lead lawyer's face went pale, and the investors' representatives shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Tara stayed calm but resolute. "This is a breach of trust and potentially a criminal act. If we proceed without resolving this, it could destroy our company's reputation and expose us to massive legal risks." The CEO, seated at the head of the table, leaned forward, eyes narrowing as he examined the document. "This can't be right," he said slowly. "Who would do something like this?" Tara shook her head. "That's what we need to find out. But first, we must halt any signing or commitments until this is fully investigated." The room's mood had shifted from excitement to tension. What was supposed to be a celebratory moment now felt like a crisis. The investors' team shifted uncomfortably, their smiles gone. One whispered to a colleague, clearly rattled. Tara's voice broke the uneasy silence. "I know this is difficult, but our company's integrity comes first. We have to protect ourselves, and our future." As murmurs spread, the CEO nodded slowly. "We'll need a full audit. No one signs anything until this is cleared." Tara felt a mix of relief and resolve. Speaking the truth wasn't easy, but it was necessary. In that moment, she reaffirmed her commitment, not just to the deal, but to doing what was right. The days that followed were tense and filled with uncertainty. Tara and the CEO commissioned a full internal investigation, hiring forensic experts to trace the origins of the forged signature and the suspicious contract clause. As the evidence slowly unfolded, the truth shocked everyone in the company. The investigation revealed that the forged signature and the dubious clause weren't the work of the investors' team, but an inside job. Someone within the company had deliberately tampered with the contract, hoping to sabotage the deal or gain personal advantage. The discovery sent shockwaves through the office. Whispered conversations turned into open accusations. Trust, already fragile, began to crumble. Tara's heart sank as the investigation pointed to a senior executive, someone highly trusted, with access to sensitive documents. The betrayal cut deep, not just professionally but personally. The executive was confronted with the evidence in a private meeting. Their initial denials faded quickly under the weight of the facts. It became clear they had acted out of jealousy and fear, worried the new deal would diminish their own influence. The CEO called an emergency all-hands meeting. The atmosphere was heavy as employees gathered, eyes wide with shock and disbelief. Tara stood alongside the CEO as he addressed the staff. "This betrayal is a breach of our core values," he said gravely. "We will not tolerate deception within our walls. Our company is built on trust, integrity, and collaboration." Tara added, "This incident reminds us how important it is to be vigilant, not just against outsiders, but within our own teams. We must learn from this, strengthen our safeguards, and move forward united." The betrayed executive was immediately suspended pending further action. The company began implementing new protocols to prevent such sabotage in the future. Though the wound was fresh, Tara found strength in the company's resolve to heal and rebuild. The incident became a turning point, an uncomfortable but necessary reckoning that ultimately made the team stronger and more committed to transparency. For Tara, it was a painful reminder that sometimes the biggest threats come from within, and that true leadership means confronting betrayal head-on. Despite the overwhelming evidence, the accused executive vehemently denied any involvement. In a statement released to the company and the press, they claimed the allegations were part of a smear campaign meant to undermine their reputation and career. The denial sent ripples through the organization. Some employees felt conflicted, unsure whom to believe, while others rallied behind Tara and the leadership team, demanding transparency and accountability. Tara remained unwavering. She understood that in moments like these, the truth had to be pursued with patience and rigor. "Accusations alone are not enough," she said firmly during a company-wide meeting. "We must follow a thorough and fair investigation to ensure justice." She called for the immediate formation of an independent investigative committee, tasked with reviewing all evidence, interviewing witnesses, and uncovering the full scope of the sabotage. Meanwhile, to maintain trust within the company and with their investors, Tara insisted on strengthening internal controls. This included tighter access to sensitive documents, enhanced digital security measures, and new policies to encourage whistleblowing without fear of retaliation. The board supported these measures unanimously, recognizing the critical need to rebuild confidence. Publicly, the company released a statement emphasizing their commitment to integrity and transparency. They reassured clients and partners that the situation was being handled with utmost seriousness and care. The accused executive was placed on administrative leave during the ongoing investigation, pending the final findings. Tara knew this was just the beginning of a long road to repair the damage, not only to the company's reputation but also to the team's morale. Yet, she remained hopeful. "We will emerge stronger," she told the staff. "Because we are choosing honesty over silence, accountability over complacency." In the face of betrayal, Tara's leadership shone through, guiding the company toward healing and renewed trust. Refusing to let the betrayal define her or the company's future, Tara quickly mobilized her allies and resources. She knew that the forged contract wasn't just a simple mistake, it was a calculated attempt to derail a major deal that could transform the company. First, she reached out to trusted legal experts specializing in corporate fraud and contract law. Together, they crafted a strategic plan to expose the forgery and protect the company's interests. Tara insisted on thorough documentation of every detail, anticipating that this battle might head to court. Next, Tara gathered a core team within the company: trusted executives, compliance officers, and IT specialists. Their mission was twofold: to secure all digital records and emails related to the contract, and to tighten internal controls to prevent any further sabotage. Tara also engaged a forensic accountant to review the company's financial records and contracts, seeking any irregularities or patterns that might point to deeper corruption. Meanwhile, she prepared to face the board of directors and investors. Tara presented a clear, confident narrative, one that acknowledged the betrayal but emphasized the company's proactive measures to overcome it. Her transparency reassured the stakeholders, many of whom applauded her leadership in a crisis. Recognizing the importance of public perception, Tara authorized the release of a carefully worded statement emphasizing the company's commitment to integrity, accountability, and justice. She was determined to control the narrative before rumors and misinformation could take hold. As legal proceedings loomed, Tara worked closely with the company's PR team to manage media inquiries and maintain a positive, honest image. But the fight wasn't just external. Within the company, Tara focused on healing the fractured team. She held town hall meetings to listen to concerns, encourage openness, and remind everyone of their shared goals and values. Her leadership style, firm but empathetic, helped rebuild trust. Employees began to rally around her vision for a stronger, more transparent company. Tara's determination sent a clear message. No matter how deep the betrayal, she would fight with everything she had to defend the company's future and uphold its principles. The battle was only just beginning, but Tara was ready. After weeks of meticulous investigation and relentless legal pressure, the truth finally came to light. The evidence against the saboteur was irrefutable. Every forged document, every manipulated email, every secret move laid bare. The Internal Investigation Committee released a comprehensive report, detailing how the senior executive had deliberately tampered with the contract to sabotage the deal. The motive was clear: jealousy and fear of losing power within the company. The company's leadership moved swiftly. The saboteur was immediately terminated for gross misconduct, and legal action was initiated not only to protect the company but also to deter any future acts of betrayal. The board held an emergency meeting, openly discussing the breach of trust and the steps needed to heal the company's culture. New policies were enacted, focusing on transparency, ethics training, and tighter oversight to safeguard against internal threats. Tara stood before the company during an all-hands meeting, her voice steady but filled with resolve. "We have faced a painful chapter," she said, "but it is also a moment of accountability and renewal. Betrayal tested us, but it will not define us." Employees, inspired by her honesty and leadership, began to rebuild their trust in one another and in the company's mission. Publicly, the company issued a strong statement reinforcing its commitment to integrity and promising to learn from the incident. Media outlets covering the story praised Tara's decisive actions and her refusal to let the sabotage derail the company's progress. The legal team secured a settlement with the former executive, which included compensation for damages and a public acknowledgement of wrongdoing. In the weeks that followed, Tara worked tirelessly to restore morale and strengthen relationships both inside and outside the company. She initiated workshops on ethical leadership and created channels for employees to report concerns safely. The crisis became a powerful lesson, not just about vigilance, but about resilience and the importance of standing up for what is right. For Tara, justice wasn't just about punishment. It was about restoring faith, rebuilding community, and moving forward stronger than before. The company emerged from the ordeal bruised but unbroken, its foundation reinforced by truth and courage. After the storm of betrayal and legal battles, Tara stood stronger than ever. The ordeal had tested her resolve, but it had also sharpened her focus and deepened her commitment to the company's future. With the saboteur out of the picture and new safeguards firmly in place, Tara returned her attention to the deal that had once seemed lost. Armed with renewed confidence and support from the board and investors, she reopened negotiations with the client. This time, Tara came prepared with a clearer strategy, backed by airtight contracts and transparent communication. Her experience had taught her the importance of vigilance and trust, both within and outside the company. The clients recognized Tara's integrity and leadership, and the negotiation quickly progressed. In a significant victory, Tara secured a better deal than originally anticipated, one that promised greater growth, higher profits, and stronger partnership opportunities. But beyond the numbers, this new agreement symbolized something deeper: resilience, redemption, and the power of standing firm against adversity. Within the company, Tara's leadership earned her renewed respect and admiration. Employees saw her not just as a CEO but as a fighter who protected the company's values and future. The company culture began to transform. Transparency became a core principle, and employees felt more empowered to speak up and contribute. Trust, once fractured, was slowly rebuilt. Tara also launched initiatives focused on leadership development and ethics training, ensuring that the painful lessons learned would translate into lasting positive change. In interviews, Tara spoke openly about the challenges she had faced, emphasizing that setbacks and betrayals could be overcome with courage and determination. As she looked ahead, Tara felt a deep sense of hope and possibility. The company was no longer just surviving, it was thriving. And for Tara, the new beginning was more than just a fresh contract. It was proof that integrity, strength, and perseverance could turn even the darkest moments into stepping stones toward success. This story reminds us all that vigilance and courage go hand in hand. Tara's journey shows the power of trusting your intuition, even when the signs are subtle or the risks seem high. In business and in life, challenges will come. Sometimes, the greatest threats aren't from outside forces, but from within, hidden betrayals and quiet sabotage. That's why it's crucial to stay alert, ask questions, and never ignore the little red flags. But awareness alone isn't enough. It takes bravery to speak up, to confront uncomfortable truths, and to stand firm against deception. Tara's strength came from her refusal to accept anything less than honesty and fairness. Her story also teaches us the value of resilience, of turning setbacks into comebacks, and pain into progress. When trust is broken, rebuilding it requires transparency, empathy, and unwavering integrity. Above all, trust yourself. Your instincts can be a powerful guide, especially when backed by careful attention and clear action. In the end, success isn't just about closing deals or winning battles. It's about holding on to your values, protecting those who depend on you, and leading with integrity. Let Tara's experience inspire you to be vigilant, courageous, and true to yourself, because that is how real victory is won.